And welcome to another edition of Behind the Uniform, Season 2. Feels like just yesterday we sat down with athletes for the first time in this series, but it has become so much more because the goal of Behind the Uniform is not just to take you inside the lives of these student athletes, but it's also to help educate, uplift, and inform them. We want to help them on their journeys as well, and engaging local business leaders and companies and helping us do that. And so they help the platform as well. And Behind the Uniform is brought to you by our proud presenting sponsor, Golden Limo. If you have ground transportation needs, get to your destination on time, every time with Golden Limo. Their fleet of charter buses, executive sprinters, mid-size vans, party buses, luxury SUVs, and even a trolley, their service and attention to every detail is second to none, and their track record for safety is beyond reproach. Whether you're traveling in Southeast Michigan, throughout the United States, or even abroad, Golden Limo has you covered. And now when you make a reservation with Golden Limo using the Golden Ticket, you'll be supporting Michigan NIL and a great military charity. Golden Limo founder and CEO Sean Duvall has been a great supporter of Michigan NIL, first through his NIL partnership with Will Johnson and his toy drive, and then through Will's Golden Limo NIL ambassadorship. And now in 2024, Sean and Golden Limo are back with an NIL partnership with Zeke Berry. Sean Duvall also comes from a military family and is a passionate supporter of military charities. One of those charities is Freedom River. Freedom River is a comprehensive outdoor recreation center located in Brighton, Michigan that assists in reassimilation of U.S. military service members, veterans, and their families. A portion of your reservation fee will go there. And that's not all. There's one more perk. Once a month, one Golden Ticket reservation will be selected to attend an exclusive party after the season. That party will include Zeke Berry, Semaj Morgan, maybe some other guests. I know it will include the film study crew, Al Borges, Vance Bedford, doing an exclusive film study breakdown in front of the audience that is at that party. It'll have the Dropping Dimes crew with Devin Gardner, Daniel Horton. Maybe it'll include you, but only if you book through Golden Limo using the Golden Ticket once per month. A Golden Ticket reservation will be selected to go to that party with 3 guests, but only if you book your reservation through Golden Limo using the Golden Ticket. All you have to do to book your Golden Ticket reservation is go to goldenlimo.com/golden ticket or call their team at 734-668-8282 and mention Golden Ticket to book your transportation reservations today. So make sure you take advantage of this opportunity because Golden is going to have some great options all season long. You don't want to miss out. Golden, Michigan football rides on Golden, Michigan basketball rides on Golden. You should ride on Golden as well. But I remember the first time I saw our first guest of the season, Tyler Morris. I don't know if you remember this, Tyler. I went to see JJ. It was the summer, I want to say it was the summer between his sophomore and junior year. I believe it was the summer between the sophomore and junior year. It was early. It was after, so if JJ was a junior, that would have been your freshman year, right?
When he was going into his junior year?
When he was going into his junior
I would have been going into my sophomore year.
Yeah. So that's when it was, right? And so he said, man, you got to look out. You got to look out for this guy, Tyler Morris, right? And so he told us very, very early that you were going to be a guy to look out for. And, man, he was right. We saw that you were going to be a guy. Now, here's the irony of that moment. Fast forward to the Rose Bowl. And we see you catching a ball across the middle from your quarterback, your high school quarterback, sprinting to the end zone. And I'm going to have you take us into that play. We'll do that. But you hit that end zone. And I thought to myself, we saw Tyler scoring these touchdowns in high school. And I was like, man, was that the last time we saw Tyler score? Was in high school? Was that your last touchdown since high school?
Yeah, that was my last one since COVID season, junior year, like that spring.
Man. So welcome back, right? Welcome back. So, hey, that's a great intro. So First of all, how you doing? How's it going? How are things in Tyler Morris's world?
Everything's good. You know, just excited for the season and start getting in the fall camp soon, and you know, really just excited. You know, kind of waiting around for everything to get started for real. So
yeah, man, it's you know, you think about, I think about your journey, and think about that spotlight that has been on you for so long, and it's hard to think that it had been that long.
Yeah.
And I wonder, was that something, did it ever grind on you or start to bother you at all? Was it always something that you kind of knew your time was going to come?
I think for the most part, I tried to stay, you know, calm and understand that my time would come. But honestly, like, it was hard. I mean, it's, you know, between really the last full season I played was sophomore year. So, you know, just for that, and then, you know, COVID happened, and I got hurt, and then, you know, you come in as a freshman and as a sophomore, you know, you just got to wait your turn. But for me, it felt like the past, you know, 3-4 years I've been waiting to just really be out, you know, and play. So, no, it was definitely hard. There was definitely some days that were, you know, more difficult than others, but, you know, just trying to overall just stay positive about it definitely helped.
So let's go into that play, man, because I know when we were breaking down the game beforehand, we break it down with a former offensive coordinator, Al Borges. He said, listen, watch, they're going to be doing a lot with motions and shifts to kind of get matchups and kind of throw off their defense. And they're going to get some great matchups in this game. I didn't know exactly what matchups they were looking for, but it felt like you got a matchup because you wound up, it felt like on a linebacker on that play, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it was like a foot race at that point. So kind of take us into what you guys saw during the week. And then was that kind of a situation where you felt like you were going to get a matchup?
Yeah, I mean, that was pretty much it. We knew Bama obviously got great athletes, and, you know, but we kind of, just from studying them, we understood that sometimes they, you know, might over-communicate a little bit, or, you know, sometimes things get mixed up when, you know, when you're moving around a whole lot. So that was kind of our plan, was to keep things going. And then, you know, that play, Rome had motioned over. So then my route popped open. I had a backer on me, and that was a matchup we wanted for that play, you know, in that situation. And, you know, it worked out. I was able to get around the corner and really just got around the corner, saw the pylon, and ran as fast as I could. So.
Yeah, it was a foot race.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you know, you saw the tape,
right?
You saw the tape. So now, here's the thing. I think that surprised some people. But I wasn't surprised, because here's what I know, man. I kind of know a little something about your athletic background. I mean, football star. They say that, man, you know, you did some things on the basketball court. I've heard you were a little lacrosse guy too, right?
Yeah. And
lacrosse guy back in the day as well?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
High jump champ too, right?
Yeah, high jump. Won nationals twice for that. Came second 1 year for that, so that was definitely something. And then, yeah, lacrosse I played in 4th grade, 5th grade,
oh, man,
around that time.
See, I do my research.
Yeah, I'm surprised you knew that one. But, yeah, my parents had us in all different types of stuff. You know, growing up, they were always just, you know, we're kids, so they was like, you don't got nothing to do, go play some sports. I had one of my best friends started playing lacrosse. I ain't had nothing going on in the spring. My parents was like, yeah, go ahead, try that. So, yeah, did that for a couple of years. Track I did pretty much my whole life growing up. Basketball I did all through elementary school and middle school. And football was always the one, though, that, you know, it was the most fun. That's what my dad played, and, you know, that's kind of just what I stuck with.
You know, and so what the other thing that sticks out to me, because you just won a national championship with Michigan. You obviously, high school, you guys, championship pedigree in high school too. In Little League, championship there as well. It's like, man, all you do is win championships, man. What about that piece of it?
Yeah, I've been fortunate to be on some good teams with great teammates. So, yeah, really, middle school, we won nationals twice, 7th to 8th grade. There was one point where it had been like probably 6 years. I think I probably lost 3 games maybe. So, yeah, no, I had definitely had a good time in football and winning.
Would you ever sit and think, it's not like you're just there. Like, you contribute to that. You're a piece of that.
Yeah.
You're part of the reason for that. Do you think about how you contribute to why the teams you're on do so much winning?
I don't know if I've really ever just sat and thought about it, but I think it's something definitely as I get older, and, you know, stuff like the Rose Bowl and stuff like that, where I'm starting to appreciate it more. I think when I was younger, it was I kind of just took it as that's how it's supposed to be. Like, that's just how it is. And now I think just being on a bigger stage, you kind of take more time to sit back and really realize what's going on and just really appreciate it and, look forward for more.
Here's why I asked that, man, because, you're in a situation now where you're the guy that other guys are looking to. Roman's gone, CJ's gone. You're the older guy in the room along with CJ, with Colston and, Donovan. You guys have been grinding as the top guys out there. So the youngsters who, all they've done is go to Big Ten championships, right? They weren't around when COVID season and when it was rough and that kind of thing. So, they think it's just supposed to be that way, and you kind of got to be one of the ones to kind of tell them, hey, man, it's a certain sacrifice you got to make to get where we got to.
Yeah, even like me, Coach, and our class coming in, our first season was great, obviously, but we came in like committed right off that, the bad season, that COVID season. So, right when we got on or came in, the team was hard on us, getting us to understand. So I think we kind of just trying to push that same thing because, obviously we've been doing things right and, it's worked. So just trying to get it in the young guys' heads that, this is how it goes here. And, if you want this to be your normal, this is how you got to work.
Yeah, man. I kind of put your situation different than these other guys because I understand what you're saying in that you come in and, it's winning. But when you come in, the coach that recruits you leaves right away.
Yeah.
Like, it's like you get here and Josh Gaddis is out the door. Steve Kasula, the other coach that recruits you, he leaves. He's out the door. So immediately your comfort zone is disrupted. Right? So to me, that's kind of that adversity that a lot of these other guys don't really have to really account for, and you had to deal with that right away. So I sort of think that's kind of the same as what a lot of these other guys had to go through coming in, kind of have to get with changing the culture and that kind of thing. So I kind of look at what you had to go through coming in a similar way. How did you do that? How did you deal with that coming in, so much change right out the gate?
I think it was definitely difficult just because, like when you commit, that's who you plan on being there with. But at the same time, once you got around the team, they had a good season the year before, and they kind of had figured out how it needs to go to get to where they need to. So then when we come in, it's really just going along with what the guys are saying. Building new relationships with new coaches and all that. But regardless of who it is, like coming off that season, like what you need to do to get there. So it's really just keeping going regardless of who's there.
Is your head spinning a little bit though? You get there and then immediately Coach Gaddis is like,
yeah, no, it was definitely it was a little bit where you just like, well, dang, like, I don't like, I just spent all my time here talking to them, committed to them, all that. But then there's a certain point where you like, well, I can't do nothing about it. This this is who I'm gonna be with. This is this is who we gonna roll with. So make the best of it.
So I wonder if that's part of what kind of makes you guys as a crew, as a team, makes you tighter, and maybe even that early enrollee class kind of makes you tighter. Was that something that helped bring you guys closer together?
I don't know if it was necessarily just the change, but I think just the culture as a whole on our team is just our strength coaches, Coach Herb talked about it, Coach Tress talks about it a lot, just like, we don't care what's going on. We don't care about outside noise. We don't care about change. We don't care about weather. Like, we know what we got to do, and you just got to go handle it regardless of, what's going on outside.
So just watching you from afar, it seems like nothing really phases you, man. I don't know if that's true. If you just, you can just brush stuff off, or if you just handle it on your own where no one can really see it. But do things bother you? Do things get to you? Do things get you down and you got to have people pick you up? I mean, how do you process adversity?
I think I do a good job doing it, but, at the same time, we all human. We all going to handle things differently. We all, going to have certain feelings about certain situations. But, I guess for me in this position, you kind of just keep it pushing, don't want to show it, and just understand that nobody's going to feel sorry for you. Nobody's going to, take it easy on you just because you ain't feeling great. So in this position, it's at the same time, it's a business. So sometimes you just got to keep it pushing and a lot of times, though, that's what the great players do. And, you kind of see that when you come in here. You see how other guys are handling it and just understand fast that you got to make stuff happen for yourself.
So how long, because you suffered the ACL injury, how long before you start feeling like you again?
Probably a little over a year, I would say, because first spring ball I was there, I had to wear a brace, so it just felt off. It felt weird, like, your knees still a little weak. And then I say that by that fall camp, it's off, so you start feeling normal again. But I don't know, it never completely gets back to feeling great, but definitely after probably about a year, I started feeling good for sure.
And then you start feeling like you could do your thing.
Yeah. You
make some plays.
You start not thinking about things as much when you're doing it, just go play.
And then so one number 8 leaves, and then I swear, man, I can't be the only one that have said this to you. I started like, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Ronnie. Anybody else ever said that to you?
Yeah, I've heard that. I heard that more than anybody, for sure. Even Ronnie, his T's texted me before, like when they tagged me in a picture, he'd be like, "Oh, look, I thought it was me for a second." So yeah, it's definitely some resemblances, and yeah, I definitely hear that a lot.
Yeah, was anything in his game that you take, or is anything that you borrowed, or you guys just kind of alike? Or are you just kind of similar in the way that you play?
I think we're similar in the way we play, but definitely him being in my freshman year, I definitely tried to watch him and tried to see what he was doing. And because Ronnie's not the biggest or fastest guy, just like I am, but he makes it work. He's patient. He, switched things up, and he was kind of just creative in his route. So definitely tried to take that from him and just apply it to mine. Yeah,
man. And so here you are, as you have made your way, and I really looked at how the offense has evolved going into last season, and you really saw JJ emerge, and that had to feel special because the chemistry that you guys, I know he had chemistry with all the receivers, but did you feel like you guys had a special connection? I always felt that. Did you feel that way too?
Yeah, it was, but it's been built up over years, so it was kind of just, it felt normal, I guess, going with him. Like, it was kind of just an understanding of how we were thinking things, and it was definitely things I had to learn. Like once I got here, just because he had been here for a year, so he understood that there's certain routes or concepts that it's got to go that way, and I had to pick up on that. But as far as just natural things, like it picked up pretty easy, and just felt good being back out there.
So now developing that same kind of rapport. I'm not talking about rapport. There's a communication. There's like a symbiosis that a receiver and a quarterback get.
Right.
That you had with JJ over years. You guys are like brothers.
Right.
How do you develop that with guys that you haven't known as long? How do you develop that with this group of quarterbacks?
So far it's just been, we had spring ball, but then just getting with them, after lifts and running routes and stuff like that. And then I guess most of it, I think a lot of it will come down to competition, like in fall camp. That's when you'll run around. And even we had these conversations in spring ball, but just talking to them, communicating, seeing what they see, what we see, and just, because naturally you're going to see things different as a receiver than a quarterback. Quarterback's going to see it different. So just kind of getting that level of understanding with each other.
So we'll come back to that because there's a lot to dig into, because I feel like there's a relationship, a quarterback-receiver relationship, where there are times where, the quarterback is like the receiver security blanket. Like, you're leaning on the quarterback like, hey, man, you need the quarterback to take care of you.
Yeah.
But then there are times where the shoe is on the other foot, where the quarterback might be new, and he needs the receiver to be the security blanket.
Right.
And I kind of feel like that might be the situation that we're rolling into now, but we'll come back to that. One of the things that we're getting into with Behind the Uniform, and I take this very, very personally with you guys, because while this is certainly a media platform, been covering so many of you guys so long, I start to look at a lot of you like little brothers. So it's like, hey, man, we got a responsibility to make sure that as you guys are getting into a different sort of, level of professionalism, right? Because NIL has taken things to another level in college athletics. that we got a responsibility to kind of help you guys along that journey. And that is part of what Behind the Uniform is about. So we have engaged with a couple of partners, Morgan Stanley, and of course the University of Michigan Credit Union, for the Financial Literacy Bootcamp. The Financial Literacy Bootcamp is our way of helping enhance the financial wellness and education for the student athletes that come on the platform. And so for the first piece of that, our friends at the University of Michigan Credit Union, they engaged Michigan student athletes, Tyler being one of them, with their playbook for prosperity. All right, so Tyler, the playbook for prosperity, they have done a fantastic job over the years, the University of Michigan Credit Union, of engaging young people, not just college age people, but young people in general, with the fundamentals of saving, of check writing. I'm talking about, high school age kids, of, understanding of what it means to start having financial literacy. And so that is obviously very important for you guys. And that is something that I know you and some of your teammates got a chance to experience firsthand here recently with UMCU.
Yeah, it was great just getting in there and I guess getting a little bit of a different perspective. And I guess there's a lot of things with financial literacy that you kind of hear about along the way, but to really sit there and be able to talk about it and really be able to go over it in details and just really learn and kind of understand what everything means definitely helped.
I'm going to start here, Tyler. Are you more spontaneous or are you definitely a planner when it comes to your finances?
Probably spontaneous because I would say just for the most part, like I said, I save and then there'll just be a random time. I'm like, you know what? I ain't spent in a while, so let me buy something nice. So.
There you go. Would you consider yourself more of a worrier when it comes to finances or very confident?
Confident, just because I know I am a saver and, I know that I save a lot more than I spend, so I should, always have enough to get what I want.
Hey, if, that person over there is really financially healthy, they're doing really good, what would I see that person doing? What would I observe? That person is financially healthy. What do you think? Tyler, I'll start with you. What is the definition?
I would say probably just having what they need.
Okay.
Maybe not necessarily everything that they want or, everything that they're hoping to get, but everything that they need to take care of themselves or their family is, what they have.
Yep. When you start a month, what goes into your thought process in terms of finances? Income, expenses, you plan it out, you got a notebook, what do you use?
Just going into the month, rent, I know that that's something I got to pay. And then, there's a certain amount that I know I'll probably end up spending just on food or whatever. But then I like to just put a good amount of my money in savings and just not touch it because, I don't need to. And just kind of had a mindset in that there's more coming in than I need to spend. So, only spend what I really need. And then, if I find something that I really do want, then I can, use that if I want to. But, just trying to put really most of my money away because I don't need to spend it. So
now, there are things that, student athletes didn't really have to think about before. But now that with more money coming in, you need to think about. And so what were some of the things that maybe you weren't thinking about before that maybe they challenged you to think about by virtue of, being in there and having them say, hey, listen, guys, if you don't start paying attention to this now, this is how it might get you.
The biggest thing was credit for sure, because that's, as a kid, you hear about it, from adults and this and that, but you don't really understand how big of an effect it has on you. And they did a great job kind of just giving us examples with credit scores and just how much, extra you might have to pay if it's low and how fast it can drop about, if you miss payments. And we was all shocked by that because, that's not anything you ever hear about growing up. So,
all right, so give me an example. Let's give a real world example based on your experience what was the scenario that maybe our friends at UMCU kind of laid out for you guys?
So they gave us all a truck it was $45,000, and then had us all pick out these different credit scores, and I happened to have 600. So they told me that with my credit score, by the time I paid off the truck with interest, I would have paid $24,000 extra.
Let's do an example. Do you guys know the credit scoring, the range, top to bottom?
Not top to bottom, but I know.
It starts at about 300, goes all the way up to about 850.
Yeah.
That's the range, sort of like your GPA, 0 to
300? I don't
4.0.
think I even knew that.
Yeah, let's hope we
Starts
don't
at
get
3.
that low. But
Yeah.
yeah, it starts at
Like
3, goes all the way to
5.
850. But most people are kind of in that middle. But you mentioned loans. Let's see the impact. You've got a car to sell.
Yep.
These guys are interested.
Okay.
What are you selling?
I've got a 2024 Ford Bronco for $45,000.
Ford guy. No, I'm a
Okay.
Ford guy.
Right?
Let's put 5,000 down and let's borrow 40. Okay? So Tyler, I'm going to give you this. Okay? Colston, I'm going to give you this card right here. Alex, here's yours. Okay. I've taken your applications. I've pulled your credit score because I'm a lender here. I've got to figure out what the terms are. Let's figure out what we're going to do here.
Okay.
Tyler, let's start with you. What's your credit score, sir?
600.
Woo! Okay.
Dun,
All
dun,
right.
dun.
Exactly.
Okay. So I like Tyler, so I'm
Okay.
gonna like keep. It's a little on the low side.
Yep.
It would even with an approval, Tyler. Because of that credit score, there's some issues. Probably gonna go about 20% right now interest rate. Your monthly payment would be about $1,060, and by the time you pay this loan back, about $24,000 in interest.
On top of the $45,000
Correct.
car.
Yeah.
Mm.
Can I get you the keys, or you got to think about?
I'll pass
Not
on
just
that.
yet. Okay. All right. I understand.
Colston had 650. By the time he paid it off, it would have been 12,000, and then Alex had 750. I think, and by the time he paid it off, it would have been like 6,000 extra. So I mean, that for us, I was like, well, shoot, like, because I was thinking 50 points, like that can't be too much of a drop, but $12,000 difference is, that's huge. So
Yeah, that's bad, but it made it
no,
real.
it made sense, and it gave us something to really look at and something to really understand that, okay, you need it to be high, because if it's low, you're paying way more money.
Yeah, on-time payments. That's why it makes a difference, right? That's why it makes a difference to pay attention to how many credit cards you have, paying it on time, right? All of that really, all the credit inquiries.
Yeah.
Every time they want to put, hey, you want to try out for this credit? Man, all that makes a difference.
Yeah.
That's why financial literacy and education is so important in UMCU, making it real for student athletes. And so glad that they have come on board and helping us with their playbook for prosperity. And you will see more from UMCU in the weeks to come. So we want to thank them for helping us out here on Behind the Uniform. So Tyler, that's just one aspect of it. If you talk about sort of establishing a foundation of financial health, then it's about financial growth. So that's the other piece. Once you have a solid foundation, now you want to start investing and growing. That's where our friends at Morgan Stanley and Dave Hemmett come in. So what about that piece of it? What did you learn over there?
Kind of just, I guess, how much you can make your money grow once you are comfortable and once you have enough to invest. I guess the more money you have, the easier it is to make more. I guess have your money make money. So that was just going over stocks, and he showed me the market and just how it changes, and gave me examples from accounts, and just how much some people you don't have to put in a whole lot of money, but if you put it in the right spot, leave it sit for a while, then it'll grow a lot. So.
Yeah, man, there have been a few examples of guys who have come in who have said, hey, man, he kind of laid out, if I just put a little bit of what I'm making in from each check, from each piece that I'm bringing in, not a lot, and don't touch it.
Yeah.
Just, I'm about to go, whatever I do, whether it's going to the pros or going off into whatever professional endeavor I go off into, just don't touch this that I've just made here NIL-wise. By the time I retire, this is a whole lot of money that
he showed, he was telling me about that too, and there's just guess just understanding of, I guess he was trying to put in my head that, you know, I don't need to spend all the money that I'm making right now. So, you know, put some away and, you know, keep putting it away as it comes in, because, you know, right now it's consistently coming in. And, you know, later in life when maybe it's not coming in so consistently, you got money saved up that's been there for, you know, 30, 40 years, and it's turned into way more. So, you know, just understanding that the opportunities I'm getting now to, you know, off NIL can help me 30, 40 years from now.
Yeah, man. I wonder if, you know, if this kind of awareness and education is going on as much as it needs to be.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like more of it is going around Michigan, trying to do our part to kind of help it around here. I hope it's going around elsewhere, but spread the word. You know, help your teammates out.
Sure.
Help your teammates out on other campuses. You know, tell them, hey, man, watch your credit.
Right.
You know?
Yeah,
Invest
sure.
your money. Help your brothers out. Because they need it. I know when tax time comes, a lot of them were getting hit hard.
Yeah.
Right? So definitely, this is a new day, and hopefully a lot more student athletes are taking care of their financial health and wellness, and definitely Behind the Uniform is going to do our part to try to help guys do that. All right, so Tyler, back to football now. So we getting into that Rose Bowl and watching you do your thing and seeing you guys realize the ultimate success, and then seeing so many of those guys go on to the pros.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's fulfilling, and then to see all of the people who were saying you couldn't do it before,
Right.
watch you do it. Watch those guys go to the pros and then come right back around and say, oh, yeah, but these guys can't. These guys that are still here, they can't do it.
Yeah.
I mean, do you listen to that? Do you use it as motivation, or do you tune all that out?
Like I said before, we don't care. Like since I've been here, it's always been that we not going to be good enough, we can't do it. And since then, we've been doing it. So this year, I don't think it's no different. Yeah, we lost a lot of people. We lost a lot of production. But for us, it's just we understood what it takes to get there. We watched the older guys do it. So now we just feel like it's our time to step up. And, you know, just as we've thought in the past years, we believe we can do it, and we 100% confident in that.
So how do you guys carry over the culture? Carry over what those guys help build? Because it doesn't just happen.
Yeah.
I've heard stories, and we'll talk to Rod about this. I heard a story about early in fall camp. One of the guys said, hey, man, it's not fall camp, but spring ball. He's like, hey, brought the team together. It's like, hey, some of y'all not doing what needs to be done here. Let's get it together.
Yeah.
Right? And that to me, it struck me as that's an example of how you carry a culture over. Does that resonate with you at all?
Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, some of the seniors and juniors on our team, we've seen it happen. Like, we've seen how it's supposed to go, and then, you know, this year, you know, any year going forward or whatever, there's going to be guys that come in and just, you know, maybe they don't see it that way, or maybe they just think that that's how it is, that we just come in and win without understanding that we do it a certain way. And sometimes you got to set guys straight. Like, that's just how it is. That's how a team goes, and, you know, just that's why we got leaders on our team, because you need to set guys straight sometimes, and that's just how it goes. You need to get everybody on the same page, everybody getting that same level of understanding, just of how you work, why you work, what you care about, what you don't care about, what's important. Like, that's what's going to get us where we need to be. You know,
it feels like it's easier to do that with freshmen, like early enrollees, because they're young. They don't have any college experience. But now, these days, you always get in a bunch of transfers, guys who've actually been, these grown men, they've been in a college game, and they've experienced some kind of culture before.
Right.
And now you got to ingratiate them into yours. So what about that? You know, getting veteran guys into how you do things.
I don't think that's really been a problem at all. I think for the most part, they come in here, and even if a lot of the times, actually, they've come and they see how we do things, and then they say, oh, this is way different from, you know, where I was before. But they appreciate it, and they're not, you know, trying to go do their own thing. And the reason they came here was to win, because they saw what was going on here, and they want to be part of something like that. So really, I think the transfers buy in pretty fast. You know, they're a lot of times too, they're older guys, so they kind of have a level of understanding of how things need to be. And then I think they appreciate it more when they transfer to a team that, everybody's like that,
So let's talk about Tyler Morris. We saw how you finished the season. I mean, definitely back, but watching you, I know that's not good enough. I know that's not good enough.
No.
So where is Tyler Morris going to be better? Where are you going to be better this year?
I think everything. I think I feel like this is my year to really, go out and play and go show what I can be as a receiver. Definitely just trying to improve every part of my game, trying to be, a guy that the team can rely on in any situation. And then something I've really been trying to focus on is just being a leader, being with the older guys now, even though I still feel kind of young, being a junior, just speaking up more. I'm pretty quiet for the most part, but, just stepping in when I need to and saying things or, saying what I need to certain guys and, just getting everybody on the same page, especially, in the receiver room. We pretty young, but, we got some guys, and I think we can be real good if we all, focus on the same thing.
Yeah, man, it's funny to watch you guys grow up because I remember talking to Roman before he got to Michigan. Before he was like heading into his senior year in high school. He was a super quiet dude. And then I remember talking to Roman last year at this time, and the dude was talking, like talking like I gotta use my voice. I gotta talk in meetings.
Right.
I gotta call guys out. And then you talk to players, and they're like, "Hey, man, Roman be calling guys out. Like he's really doing it." So same thing for you. Like you're a quiet guy, but do you see yourself maybe not doing it like Roman, but do you see yourself having that same sort of metamorphosis, being like, "Hey, man, I gotta be more, not just lead more by example, but also got to lead more vocally as well"?
Yeah, I mean, I saw that from Rome. Like, just from my freshman to sophomore year, like, he definitely had a jump just in how much he was saying to people. He stepped up his voice, so that's something, I feel like everybody can lead by example, but there's just going to be times where sometimes you got to call somebody out and tell them. Like, you just got to say it straight to their face, and, if they don't want to hear it in that time, then that's, like, I don't care. Like, sometimes you got to be able to say it. So, you lead by example, that's great. That's something I feel like I do pretty good, but sometimes you got to talk to guys face to face. Sometimes you got to pull them to the side. It don't always got to be something right in front of the team, in front of the whole group, because everybody gonna respond differently. But, just pulling guys off to the side and talking to them and getting them to understand why you saying it to them, and not that it's, you're not just saying it to say it, but you're saying it for a reason. So.
Man, in your receiver room now, I mean, can anybody speak louder than Semaj?
Semaj, he's definitely a character. It's great to have in the room. No, he definitely brings some personality into the room. Guys like me, I'm pretty quiet. I talk a little bit, but then, I sit right next to him in the meeting room, so there's always gonna be a little joke crack, something like that. So
you know how when you're on the team, when you in a group, when one guy say something, we all in it, right? So does he ever say anything that kind of get you in it with the rest with the defense? Has that ever happened to you?
I mean, yeah, Semaj, he gets fired up during practice. So, I mean, there's definitely times where he's what I said. He's one. Sometimes I gotta pull to the side, but all right, like let's calm down a little bit. Like I like it, keep it up, keep being you, but let's just focus.
Hey, I'm out here too, bro.
Yeah. I mean, it's all good, but I feel like that's part of what makes him who he is. That makes him good. It's him, he's an undersized guy, but he's a fighter. Like he got that fight in him, and he ain't gonna back down for nobody, and he's always gonna be ready to go compete.
Hey man, I think you gotta have some dudes like that on the squad.
Yeah, you definitely need that.
It's room for all different kind of personalities. You gotta have some dudes like that. You also gotta have, guys, big long guys that can just go get it down the field, like an Amarion Walker. So what was it like to get Mari back? Were you surprised to see him come back? I mean, what about that?
We've been talking for a while, so I wasn't too surprised, but it's definitely great to have him back in the room. That's one of my best friends, somebody I came in with, early in the receiving room. I learned a lot with him. We was learning at the same time, so definitely just great to have him back, and I'm excited to see what he can do.
So I feel like this unit is underappreciated.
Mm-hmm.
I know you don't pay attention to that, but I do wonder if you can speak to what people might not understand about what you guys can do. If you could, based on what you've seen in practice and what you know about your skill set, how would you describe the abilities of this receiver? What do you think you guys do well? What do you think you guys bring to the table?
I think we bring a lot. We got guys that can do everything. We got, me and Maj, we can go in a slot, but we can we can go outside. I feel like we can do both. Fred, he's definitely a quick switch guy, but he can stretch the field. He's fast. Maury can stretch the field. Like, we got guys that can go. P, he's consistent. Like, we got guys that can do everything. And I guess, I don't know, like, a lot of people count us out just because we don't have a whole lot of proven guys, but, we brush that off and understand that's what they're going to think and kind of just go prove we want to go prove ourselves right more than proving them wrong, so.
Yeah, so I'm not putting you on the spot when I ask this question. I'm just trying to get into what you think some differences are. I understand the offense, the DNA of your offense is going to be the same.
Right.
I mean, Coach Campbell was here under Coach Moore, right?
Yeah.
And you're not going to change the identity of who you are. But I'm curious, based on what you know about Coach Campbell, what you experienced in spring ball, what do you think some of the differences are with him as the OC?
I think maybe just a little more in the pass game, just with him being who he is. We might, try to pass a little more, might try to, add in some new concepts here and there. Who knows? It'll take it into the season or really see what we're doing. And then, by the time that happens, I think we're just going to roll what we're good at. So what's ever working, that's what we're going to do, regardless if it's throwing it 50 times a game or it's running it 50 times a game. Last year, Coach Moore loved to run, and it worked. Like, couldn't nobody stop it, so there wasn't really a reason to try to do other things. So.
All right, and so then to get back to a point that I was making earlier on in our conversation, where you got situations where you got a quarterback like let's just go to the pros. If you play with Aaron Rodgers, the receivers are, Aaron Rodgers is taking care of the receivers. This is how it is, right? But there are times where it's a young quarterback and the receivers are taking care of the young quarterback.
Right.
Whoever the quarterback is going to be an inexperienced guy in this role, in this arena, right? And so they're going to be leaning on you a lot. They're going to be leaning as a receiver group to help grow them up. And so what about that piece of it? How do you help grow a guy up, get him comfortable, get him ready for this moment? I mean, that's a piece of it that you guys, as a receiver room, a tight end room, an offensive line room, that you guys have to take on as well to help this quarterback unit kind of get up to speed.
Yeah, for us, I think it's just really, running our plays, doing what we're supposed to be doing. So when the quarterback's back there, they're not seeing a whole bunch of different things. They know where everybody's supposed to be. Keep building their confidence, keep them calm, understand that every throw is not going to be perfect. We're going to probably drop a couple at some point. Like, everybody going to strive to be perfect, but nobody's going to be. Just really, I think it's just keeping them calm and, keeping them confident.
Yeah, I mean, and letting them know from the outside looking in, like, hey, man, if we have some problems against this defense, I mean, it's kind of not the end of the world. Yeah. Not to say that it's okay, but they're kind of good over there.
Yeah, no, and that was one of the things, like, in spring ball, we would have, everybody had their off days and stuff like that, and we would have conversations as a whole offense after practice, just never okay with being beat.
Right.
But at the same time, we understand that this is the best defense in the country. So, we're understanding that there's just going to be days like that, but we also know that, we're going to be good too. This is what we're going against every day. So when we, keep going against a defense like that, and there's going to be days where we beat them. Like once we get into the season, we're probably, we're not seeing defenses like that. So it really should be easier. And really just, it's just building confidence, understanding that, all right, today was a rough day. That's not okay. We're going to build on it tomorrow, have a better day tomorrow, and then keep being consistent, and it's going to carry us through the season.
Yeah, so, you got to get better playing against Will Johnson, don't you?
Yeah.
So how's that matchup? How's that matchup going for you, T-Mo?
Oh, it's good. I think this year, definitely going against him more, so I'm able to kind of pick his game and kind of see what he's trying to do. And I know there was a point in spring ball where I kind of figured out how he was trying to play, so I started beating him, and then he kind of saw what I was doing, and then he started beating me a little bit, and then
You
it
know
got
he's
to.
coming on the show, right?
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he coming
well,
on the show.
Well, he could tell you. But we was fighting, and then it got to a point where we was both just trying a whole bunch of different things. So, but no, he's definitely is great competition. You know, the best corner in the country, and I feel like he's definitely making me better every day.
Absolutely. So what about? Let's talk about some of the young guys on both sides of the ball before we go. You already mentioned like a Fred Moore, who's coming up. Everybody's seen Semaj. What about Kendrick?
Kendrick, yeah, no, he's got potential too. We definitely gonna need him this year. He's a longer guy, but he can jump. He high jumped too in high school, and he's athletic. He definitely goes and makes some plays. So I'm excited to see what he can do because you know we definitely gonna need him.
And then on the other side of the ball, I mean, we saw a little bit of Jair. So far, I mean, what are your early impressions of Jair? I think I've seen him in high school, so I know what kind of athlete he is. But you play against him in practice, see him in practice. Right. What do you think of Jair?
I like him. He's definitely has all the potential to be a good corner. You know, I'm excited to see what he can do. One thing I like about him is he's not huge, but he's gonna throw his stuff in there. Like he's not scared to hit nobody. Definitely a competitor, and really, yeah, I'm just excited to see what he's gonna do this year.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be an exciting year, I think, to really see what you are really capable of. And then you got some big matchups coming up. You got some little league teammates you're gonna be squaring off with.
Yeah, I got a couple guys at Northwestern. I should be playing these. I have to look at the schedule. Oh, I got one of my best friends growing up. Actually, one that I started playing lacrosse with. He's on Oregon right now. So it'll be good. He moved to Arizona when we was in middle school, so it'll be good. Just I ain't seen him in a while, and it'll be good just to be able to see those guys and kind of take a moment to realize we was 10 playing with each other, playing football with each other, and just being able to go against each other on this stage.
Yeah, man. It's the defense begins now. I heard when we were down at Big Ten Media Days. I heard Max Bredesen say something that really resonated. And then I heard, I think it was either McCarthy or Donovan kind of echoed the same sentiment because they were talking about defending the national championship. And Max said, hey, man, you don't win a national championship in August. Yeah. He said, man, I'm thinking about game one. And he said, after game one, you think about game two. He said, you get beat, think about the national championship in August. Yeah. He said, we learned that a long time ago. Yeah. He said, that's how we do it at Michigan, right? And so the point being, it's about the next game, bro. Yeah. We about winning the next game. And it's like, you know what? You hear people say one game at a time, and then you see guys at Michigan, you really kind of embody that. Yeah. And every guy kind of says the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, we understand you got to take it day by day. Like, January not going to matter if I don't take care of today. And that's, just keep building on, the days going forward and build through camp, build on, keep it in the back of your mind, understand what you're working towards, but that can't be your main focus because you'll get beat that first week, that second week, that third week, just focusing in the future.
All right. So before we get out of here, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about your circle, man. I mean, no guy gets to this place on their own. So your family, the people who helped you get here, your support system, what about them, man, and how they've helped you get to this moment?
Yeah, I mean, they've been everything for me. Like I said earlier, my parents, it was just, they always wanted me in something. And it was just, really, I've been lucky to be, to have my family, to be around the people I've been around. Because it started just for them, like, you 6, you don't got nothing to do. Go play some sports, go do something. Like, you're not just going to be sitting around the house and you're not about to just be out in the neighborhood just, doing whatever all day. Like, go do something. And then my friend in Oregon, his dad played in the league for a little bit, and we started playing together first grade. His dad owned the gym. My parents was like, you 6, again, like just go. Like you don't got nothing to do. So like it was even stuff like I go sleep over at his house. His dad would have us up at 7 in the morning going to work out. We 6, 7 years old. But it's like, I look back at it now and it sounds a little crazy, but like that's what I was getting used to. That's the people I was around, was people that was always pushing me to, do more. And then my parents just always supporting me in everything I did. Giving it they all, and sometimes you might not realize it as much when you a kid, but to look back at it now, like you kind of see all the, just the time and the money that they put into, you want to go do what you want to do, and just them believing in you. So definitely appreciative of everybody that was around me, everybody supporting me, and couldn't ask for a better circle.
Absolutely. Well, Tyler, appreciate your time. Good luck this season, man, and Looking forward to seeing what you can do.
Appreciate you having me on here.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Folks, thanks for watching another edition of Behind the Uniform. Got many more episodes to come. I want to say thanks to our proud sponsors. Of course, the Financial Literacy Bootcamp would not be possible without our friends at the University of Michigan Credit Union. Of course, our friends at Morgan Stanley and Dave Hemmick. And definitely our presenting sponsor for Behind the Uniform, Golden Limo. If you have ground transportation needs, get to your destination on time, every time with Golden Limo. Ride like the Wolverines. Feel like a Wolverine when you ride with Golden Limo, the proud transportation partner for many of Michigan's sports teams and the primary transportation provider for Michigan Wolverines football. All you have to do to book your Golden Ticket reservation is go to goldenlimo.com/golden ticket or call their team at 734-668-8282 and mention Golden Ticket to book your transportation reservations today. We'll see you next time on Behind the Uniform.